Fantastic. Looks like we are live and on air. Welcome to another, I'm going to adjust my camera a little bit. Welcome to another Juku Christie's new course for Business English Q&A, a place where people who are learning English as a second language can come and improve their professional communication skills and learn a little bit more about business English, which can be a little bit confusing. So the way it works here, it is a Q&A, which means you send in the questions and I supply the answers. Let me move as you've seen over the past couple of weeks, I'm a little bit new at this idea of doing live events. So normally I meet with students or we have small classes. I'm a little more comfortable in that setup. But I really think that these live events and making a free weekly event is a great way just to offer a service to people who are learning English and create a place where we can have a community of people sharing their questions and we can all get better with our professional communication. So I'd like to start off by thanking the people who are sending in questions. I know that there are people that cannot join this live event while it's live, and they're going to check out the recording that is on my YouTube channel later. Totally fine. This weekly live event will happen every Monday, and it is 10 p.m. in Japan, 3 p.m. in Paris, and 9 a.m. in New York City. So we kind of are covering people across the globe if you want to join in during the live event. But these Business English Q&A weekly episodes will all be kept and stored on my YouTube channel, Juku Christie. So hopefully after time, this will become a nice resource and a place to learn a little bit more about business English. So like I said, thank you for the people who are submitting questions. Because we're new, I'm really putting out a call. I want you and all of your friends to send in questions that I can answer. The best way to submit them is to send them to questions@jukuchristie.com. And that way I can get the questions, keep them in order. You can also just find lots of information at my website, jukuchristie.com. The questions I've been getting so far, and I know I've replied to some of you, so we've had some back and forth. Some of the questions have been very advanced or very specific to an industry. And I do want to dive into that. I do want this to be a place where people can ask very specific questions. But since we are just getting started, my hope is to start off with some things that are a little bit easier than some of those really, really specific questions. Last week, I was talking about how to handle speaking on the phone. So last week, I had someone ask, how can you reply to someone if you're on the phone with someone and you're having difficulty understanding them, what can you say? I think I will self-criticize my lesson last week. I think I was talking a little bit all over the place. I would like to get more clear and succinct. So I think that's just because I'm a little nervous with this live streaming. So it's a new format for me. So I promise I will get better. So yes, for those of you that I've had messages back and forth, I know you're going to join in, and I will get to your questions in time. So I ask everyone to send in questions. The more the merrier. And then we can move forward and start sharing anything that is a question, a confusion, a moment that maybe you didn't understand something and you might like to try and learn more about how it could have been better. But as this is a new course, normally over at my jukuchristie.com, at my online learning center, I have kind of high-level small group classes where we gather people who have shared interests, get together, and we discuss. Every week we have a conversation based around a shared interest. Right now we have got pop culture and social media, where we're talking about social media, building websites, things along those lines. There's so many things to talk about. And a new class that I am organizing, which is about, it's called Good Living, Body and Mind, where we get together to talk about healthy, just living healthy, and also challenging yourself and making your life as satisfying as you want it to be. So those are a couple of courses I have going on. The Business English Q&A is something I'm hoping to get started here. And last week, so what I hope today, I am not going to answer a question. So today the Business English Q&A is going to be a little bit different than normal. I wanted to share a little something with you because I want people to understand what I'm hoping to create here, which is a nice supportive place to improve your English. So last week, a woman that I know in the United States, she's a fantastic professional woman, heard about this class that I'm starting, the Business English Q&A, and she sent me a message, and she sent me a message to share with you, and it is something to kind of motivate you to keep on improving your English. And so I wanted to share that with you during today's class. So I'm going to look it up. I've got it on my email. I think when we learn languages, because as you know, I speak Japanese and French, and I understand the challenges. I mean, it's an ongoing task to business English. You just have to keep at it. You need to have a good attitude to not hear. She thinks my idea is a great idea, but to you, here's what she says. To your students who are learning English and want to improve their business English, bravo. I work with people from many countries, and since I cannot speak all of their languages, I rely on their English ability to get the job done. So, I am cheering you on. She's cheering you on, all the people out there working hard to learn English. She says, I am cheering you on. Thank you for putting in the effort to learn English and take it to the high levels of communication. She says, keep up the good work. Don't get discouraged and stick with Christie. She will take you to the top. That is just a little bit a message for you to get the other side. So people who speak English and want their business partners and colleagues and people that they work with to be able to speak English at a high level. She really appreciates the fact that people have to put in the effort to learn how to speak English. She really depends on people to be able to speak English well enough so that it doesn't slow down her work. I'm throwing that in there today just as a little motivational reminder of why we put in the effort to learn another language so that we can communicate. And I know that all of you out there who are approaching anything that has to do with business English, you probably come at it from different levels. Maybe you're a student who's just getting started and you know you have to have business English in order to get a job. Maybe you are already a professional and you work with a bit of English and you know it needs to get better. Maybe you are someone who has retired and you already speak English, but you want to keep up the business English in your brain. I totally get that. I think it's really important to keep up our language skills. But what I really want to do here at Juku Christie is create a place where people feel like they can come, ask a question, get an answer, and share in the answer so that people can kind of chime in a conversation. Other people can learn from your questions. And I think it could be a lot of fun. So please send in your questions questions at jukuchristie.com. Like this video, subscribe to my channel. Those things matter so that we end up on the surface so that people can find us. But just try and keep chiming in. Join me in this class, and I think we can make it fantastic. So keep it. Don't forget, Juku Christie, it is your favorite place to practice English. Come and send me a message, chime in, and tell your friends. And I look forward to seeing you next week on our Monday's weekly live event, which is free. It's right here. I'm not asking for anything. I really just want to create a space where we can improve English and move forward and get everybody communicating. So I'll see you next week, 10 p.m. in Tokyo, 3 p.m. in France, 9 a.m. in New York, and that is Monday. See you then. Look forward to it. Bye.